All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the MMA Advocates Presented by CrossbonesMMA.com. My name is Eddie Law. We got a full panel today, and we're still waiting for one more. Jesse's parking the Pokestop van. You know what? Real quick, we were talking about before. I hope we never get to see some crazy shit happen to Jesse on there. I hope there's like a clown sighting when he's on air. Like that'd be the best shit ever. Like I think Jesse would be the one that freaked the fuck out if he saw a clown.
Listen. Let's be honest. We need ratings bad, okay? We need viewers. So yeah, I'm totally willing to sacrifice Jesse live on air. There he is.
Oh, there he is.
If we can get that cute little prick robbed, we'll be golden. So,
hey, Jesse, you there?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Are you being mugged, Jesse?
Nah, why?
Trying to get some ratings up.
We legit spent the last like 5 to 10 minutes talking about how it'd be crazy if some shit went down when you were live on air in your little Pokestop van. Because you always park in the worst places.
That would be awesome, actually.
What do you sell, Jesse?
Crack.
What's that?
What? Crack. Yeah. Is that your crack van? Is it?
No,
yeah, definitely crack.
Oh, it's not crack. He wouldn't be on the show if it was crack. He'd be rich as fuck. All right, let's be honest about that. All right. Of course, you see now we got Jesse Ruvalcaba out of LA, and of course, Mr. Fred Kirby from Dayton. Then Rodriguez out of ABQ.
Not really, man.
And back. What?
Haven't you seen Breaking Bad?
Breaking Bad. What about it? Are you still there, motherfucker?
Jesse, Breaking Bad was methamphetamines. After the show, I'll explain to you the difference between crack cocaine and meth. Not right now. This is an MMA show. No drugs.
All right. He got real quiet and weirded out. And back once again, Andrew Reed. And in fact, we'll just go straight to you, man. UFC 204. Your guy ended up winning the fight. Now, first of all, a lot of back and forth here, whether it's exactly what I was going to get to. A lot of people think a lot of people thought Hendo won, man. I honestly had it for Bisping, but I am a big, I am a big fan of what it looked like after the fight, right? Basically, it basically looked like he got his ass whooped. But if you went by points and scores and all that, I had it for Bisping. Barely, but I had it for Bisping. What do you think of the fight?
If I put my impartial hat on, Bisping won. If I put my non-impartial hat on, Bisping still won. I mean, the contentious issue is obviously the first round, whether it was a 10-8 or not. I don't know. I mean, obviously you don't get scored a 10-8 for a knockdown, although those elbows that he landed on the floor for the last minute were pretty vicious. But Bisping was still moving. He was still trying to get out. He was still showing that he was alive and well. So I don't think it was that much of an annihilation that people think it was. It looked worse than it was. And we all know Bisping cuts up anyway. He's like a Diaz. He's been fighting so long. He's got so much scar tissue. So that was a contentious point. 3, 4, and 5. He just picked Hendo off at will. Those bombs were still landing, but he was so knackered they were just doing nothing to Bisping from the third onwards because he was just way out of it. So yeah, I think it was a legitimate points win. Anybody else thinks wrong's a fucking idiot.
All right, let's go to our fucking idiot, Fred. Why'd you think Hendo won?
Listen, I'll fill that goddamn void because I'll tell you something right now. That was a goddamn 10-8 round. Listen, what shall he do? Stab him with a fucking blade in there? If that wasn't a 10-8 round, what do you propose would be? Listen, Bisping looked like he got jumped into the bloods after that fight, and Hendo literally wasn't bleeding. Now,
what did Diaz look like after the first McGregor fight?
Piss on Diaz, okay? Fuck that. It's an irrelevant point.
No, it's not. It's a perfectly relevant point, you moron.
Well, they're not the same goddamn person.
But they both cut up easily. Of course he does.
He cut because he got hit with an atomic bomb and then hit with about 60 more elbows.
I'm not saying he didn't.
No.
But
60 more elbows.
The damage was far worse.
Stop it, Jesus. Listen.
Far less worse.
You know what? I guess, man. I just feel weird agreeing that Bisping won this fight because he won it on such pussified terms. I'm sorry, but gently picking Hendo apart, in which he never had him rocked. He never had Hendo on the rope, so to speak. And Hendo almost finished the fight on 2 occasions.
One occasion.
Oh, stop it, Jesus. In the second round, he had him rocked and rumbled too. He was just trying to say
I get it.
I get it. The round as well.
I get it, Fred. You were high as hell, and you probably thought that Bisping was like the one doing the ground and pounding and stuff. You probably didn't even know who the hell was fighting who at that point.
Sure. Because that's what marijuana does to you. It sends you to an alternate universe. What the fuck? Did you see that prick's face?
That all happened in one round. One round.
I don't give a fuck if it happened in one punch. He got his face tarnished.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. The fights are judged round by round.
Let's put it this way, Fred.
By round.
You pull women and you got a face like that, so.
Welcome to reality.
Time out. No. If it's the girls that you get that like your shit on Instagram, that doesn't count. Fuck that. It's awful shit.
They're not girls. I keep telling you.
Yeah. Anyway, so Jesse, what'd you think of the fight, man? Who'd you have winning?
I had it pretty much Bisping all the way. I thought he won the last 4 rounds. Definitely lost the first round. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no way about that. I mean, he took a big shot, went down, and ate maybe 2 elbows and a couple punches, then got back to his feet. That's key. He didn't eat a lot of shots. He didn't eat fight-ending shots at the end there. He blocked, he recovered, got back to his feet, ended the round on his feet. Did he not? Yes, he did. The second round, he was beating up Henderson for 4.5 minutes of that fight. Henderson lands 1 punch. He goes down, right into guard, recovers, bell ends. That's not enough to take that round away from him. Bisping wins the second round. Third, fourth, wins the rounds. Fifth, close round, but still I think the level of activity that Bisping had in that round definitely negates that crappy takedown that he did, and he didn't do anything with it. So there goes 4 rounds to 1. Bisping wins the fight easily. I mean,
what is this shit? What is this shit you're speaking to me? So he gets the dog shit knocked out of him in round 1.
No, he didn't.
Of course. Jesus Christ, are we
he
debating
got
round
cut
1,
up.
guys?
He got cut up. There's a big difference.
Got the piss beat out of him in round 1.
No, he didn't.
No.
And then
At what point did he
keister.
look out of it? At what point did he look out of it?
I'd say about 2 seconds after Hendo dropped the goddamn bomb on him. Listen,
Yeah, and then about a quarter of a second
hair.
after that, he was up and ready. Well, not up, but he was on
quarter seconds. He was a cunt hair from being stopped. There's something to be said.
No, he wasn't.
Fred, go okay. I know you semi-respect Luke Thomas as a journalist. Go back and listen to his Monday Morning Analyst. He breaks it down. The entirety of that whole thing that you're thinking of in your head right now. I've watched that fight 3 times now. It's 20 seconds that they're on the ground. Hendo lands about 4 or 5 actual punches. He throws about 20. None of them land. They all miss. Bisping is defending. He's recovered. He gets back up.
And then he does what? From there, he gets up and does what? Survives? Keeps breathing?
Goes to the corner because the bell's up.
You fucking bet your dicks he did. He had the dog shit beat out of him the rest of the round. You know what? Listen.
20 seconds? 20 seconds?
Fine. Let him keep the belt for all the good it'll do him till he gets snuffed out the next go around. Celebrate it up, England. Fucking drink your fucking tea. Have all the fun you want because that prick's losing the belt soon enough anyways. So
yeah, like the fact he wasn't going to win the belt and then he was going to lose to Hendo. Yeah, okay, keep going.
I know. Listen, it's been a good run. I'll give you that. It's been some cute shit he's pulled off, but the buck stops soon.
All right, Dave, who'd you have winning this shit, man?
Man, I mean, it was a fantastic main event. I mean, the first round, we all know, that's the discussion. And was it a clear 10-8, 3 and 4? We all can agree that Bisping took those rounds for sure. But I think I'm sorry, it was breaking up a little bit. I think 3 and 4 was clearly, you could say that they were Bisping rounds. The 5th was questionable. Dan Henderson did score those takedowns. What I took from the fight that I thought was really, it's the way I thought the fight would play out, is Bisping just kind of stayed on the feet, pursuing Dan the entire time. He did get clipped with that big shot, in which, like Jesse said, he did really recover quickly on that. I thought he was pretty much, I thought he was a lot more hurt from that shot, in which he recovered from another one later in the fight. So props to Bisping. I think Henderson gave him much credit for that, for standing on the feet the entire bout. But I didn't think the bout would go 5 rounds, but it ended up going 5. Very interesting fight. It kind of reminded me somewhat of a GSP Johnny Hendricks-esque type of decision, but I thought maybe a split draw was in order, but very, very close. Bisping was very active pursuing. Hendo, man, he almost shocked the world. He almost really, put the middleweight division in a tailspin, like we've been mentioning a lot of times before. So great main event. I had Bisping winning the fight, but it's just he recovered a little bit better than we thought he would, taking that big H-bomb that he did, and which took a couple of those.
Yeah, and real quick, Mike Jarvis on the YouTube. What's up, Mike? But he tagged us on this in this one like photoshopped or whatever video. So watch it when you guys get a chance. It's actually pretty good. All right, so obviously the first thought is what's next, right? What's next for Bisping? Obviously we have 2 fights, 2 big fights: Rockhold versus Jacare, Weidman versus Romero. Is the thought process here that the winner of one of those fights is going to get Bisping? Or are we looking at like a tournament, or not a real tournament, but like a bracket type of thing, right? Where winners of those 2 fights fight each other for a title shot for Bisping. I mean, Bisping got busted up a little bit, so he's going to need some time off. Fred, what do you think?
I mean, if you could do a thing where the winners of those 2 fights fight each other, obviously that would be ideal, but that would mean Bisping staying inactive for a pretty fucking long time. So if that's not the case, unless Bisping wants to sit on the sideline for a really long time, the most impressive win, man. I mean, you can make a case for a lot of those guys. Chris Weidman has had heat with Bisping for a while. The Jacare fight would be fun as shit. Luke Rockhold, obviously, that would be a trilogy. So I think you let those 2 fights play out, and if one of them gets a finish, or if somebody looks super impressive, if Yoel Romero comes out and just starches Chris Weidman, and then Jacare and Luke Rockhold have a back and forth battle, you give it to Yoel. If Jacare comes out and starches Luke Rockhold and vice versa, then Jacare gets it. What you have a problem with is if both those fucking fights end in first round finishes by some crazy chance, you know what I'm saying? Then I really don't know whether he give it to Gegard. Fuck it.
That's the other thing I was thinking too, because the Gegard Vitor, I mean, Gegard finished Vitor in 2 rounds, ended up getting him by TKO. The first round, Vitor was still, in it, right? But it looks like he has like a round, he has like a round and a half in the tank, right? Sort of ish, right, Dave? What do you think of that? What's up, Jesse? A what?
Like half a round.
I thought he looked better than he exceeded my expectations. I thought he was gonna have 10 seconds and then he's gonna die. All right.
Yeah, but what he's managed to do is take those 10 seconds and spread it out over like a round and a half. That's what he's managed to do now, because he actually did bugger all in those 2, and that was like 5 minutes.
True.
Yeah. And it was, I don't know, crazy. What's up?
Yeah, no, I like the way Gegard played out, the way the fight was. It was a really impressive performance. I think he looked his best out there. On a big stage on that card where we were talking about. He's set up in that position where he now is pretty much a wild card at middleweight. Outside looking in on possibly a title shot soon. I like how he called out Bisping in the post conference. It wasn't actually in the octagon. He said basically, I'll jab him all night and let's do it whenever, sign me up. But you got to also factor in there is a pretty big fight coming up with Robert Whitaker and Derek Brunson, who's on a big streak too as well. So Derek Brunson could honestly be right there in the conversation as well too. So there's a couple. I mean, the middleweight division is pretty stacked right now, and then I agree with Fred. It's kind of the more impressive Chris Weidman performance, or maybe Jacare, and maybe they get banged up in the fight too as well. But hearing what Chris Weidman has said about the fight coming up with Yoel, it's sort of strange. He doesn't seem like really too confident that he's going to be right back in the mix, competing for a belt. I think he was asked, what does he want the belt back? Is that what he actually wants? And he said, I'm willing to take 1, 2, 3 fights, whatever it takes. So, I mean, if it was the old Chris Weidman, it's like, give me the best. I want the title shot now. So I think he's a little worried about that Yoel fight, and I think Yoel takes it. But he's my guy. I thought he could have got the shot a long time ago. So the middleweight division is that much more interesting after last Saturday.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced that Chris Weidman even makes it to the UFC 205. I think he's going to be the guy that drops out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like everyone's like crossing fingers and hoping to hell that no one drops out. I have Weidman not making it. There's no way. The guy gets injured just looking at fucking, whatever. So it's
fucking Mexican prick. Look what you did.
I'm just saying.
You just done it.
Or maybe
the universe.
You know what though, Fred? At least it's that guy and not one of the more important main event fights. At least that's an undercard fight. At least. But I gotta agree with Fred there. That's pretty much the way I would think of it as well. I mean, you could kind of do a tournament style, and the winner of those two fights fight each other, get a title shot. But I think whoever gets the most impressive win gets the shot, and I think you give Gegard the other winner, and I think those two fight for the next shot. Derek Brunson, I mean, I agree with David. He's on a streak. What's that?
Jesse, I'll let you finish. I just want to note that if there is any sort of fight dropping out, like Eddie said, Weidman dropping out, you got Gegard, a healthy Gegard to step in. So that's great. That's perfect.
By the way, we just had a Kanye moment on this show. I kind of, I gotta appreciate that right there. Like, Jesse, I'm gonna let you finish. However, yeah, go ahead, Jesse.
No, I agree with that. I mean, you definitely have so many opponents that you could just kind of, switch out, and either one of those fights would be good. I mean, we were looking at this before a couple months back, and we were saying that middleweight division, you could just insert whoever into a title shot, and they pretty much all deserve it. The only thing here is I think Chris Weidman has the more upside, and he has a lot more to lose. I think he's got the more pressure. He's done a lot to put New York as a state where, they have MMA and all that stuff. So I think that he's putting a lot of pressure on himself in that fight. But I think he has to put on a very impressive show. He can't just go in there and decision that Yoel. I think he has to really put on a performance, and I think that's the pressure that he's feeling right now. Plus, we've talked about before, he's now switched camps, kind of. Now he's working more with, Mark Henry, I think, to tidy up his striking and all that. So I think we're going to see a different Chris Weidman, no doubt. But I think, like Dave said, Derek Brunson, he's still in there. I mean, he has to get this next win, and I think he could also be one of those guys that fills in if any one of those top 4 guys falls out.
Look, but I agree with Jesse, though. If you're Gegard or even the winner of Brunson and who's he fighting? Who's Brunson fighting? Sorry.
Whitaker.
Robert Whitaker.
Or I think the winner of that fight and Gegard Mousasi should be ready to step in for when Weidman doesn't make it, because he's not going to make it. I'm just telling you right now, that dude's not fucking making it.
He'll make it.
I hope he does. I really do hope he does. That dude's still, a really good fighter, but every time you expect him to show up, he doesn't. And every time I don't expect him to show up,
I'll tell you who's not making it to their fight for sure, though. That's the fight that just got announced today. That fight, that chick.
Really? You don't think Ronda Rousey makes it to that fight?
Nah, no way. No
way.
Right,
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that next. Let's get to the UFC 204 real quick, because I do want to get to that. All right. So Gegard wins by TK. What?
But I was just gonna say on Gegard, man. Yeah. I would like. The reason I don't like the Derek Brunson idea, I think Gegard has a unique ability to fight up to his opponents. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the right thing to do with Gegard is put him in big fights. I think he shines when you put him in those big fights. Not to say that he wouldn't beat Derek Brunson or he wouldn't take it seriously. I just think if he gets a Luke Rockhold or somebody like that, you know what I'm saying, he gets a lot more up for the fight and looks a lot more impressive. Like with fucking Vitor. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say, so you think Mousasi's kind of like OSP fighting to his opponent?
No, I think OSP's a shitbird that got lucky anytime he was good.
Really?
Gegard Mousasi's fucking good. I just think that he needs the right opponent to get hyped up for fights, man. He's been around for a long fucking time. I think he needs to know there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Vitor's a name. You know what I'm saying?
True.
That shit meant something to get that win.
But you don't think that fight that he had against Uriah Hall, he wasn't up for it? You think that's why he ended up dropping that fight, or what?
I don't want to make no excuses, but I doubt he had the same level of enthusiasm as training for Vitor. You know what I mean? Like, that's a huge fight. Uriah Hall is a cute kid and all, but he ain't no fucking legend. I'm not making no excuses. I mean, he just got caught by Uriah, but I don't think it was the same type of vibe. I think that a Derek Brunson fight, even if Derek wins against Whitaker, it ain't got the same kind of pop as a Weidman or a Rockhold or a Jacare. I think Weidman wants them, Gegard wants them names, man, to get excited for. Quite frankly, I want to see him against names. Derek Brunson's cute, but I just don't want to. I wouldn't want to see that fight, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see Gegard against one of those other guys, one of those top names, especially after what he did to Vitor.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's move real quick to the rest of the fights here. Jimmy Manuel gets a knockout win over OSP, and look, it was an impressive knockout. Andrew, what do you think of that fight, man? I mean, look, he caught OSP. Now, mind you, Kirby just made a point that OSP kind of got lucky in the fights that he had good performances in. But against Jimmy Manuwa, who is a legit knockout artist, what do you think of that fight?
Well, I'm pretty sure I said he was going to win by knockout last week.
Yeah.
And I think OSP is overrated. So the two add up together pretty well as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, Manu was going places. People underestimate him. And there's a lot more to his game than his punch, but that's all he's showing at the moment. And he punched bloody hard as well.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. That's kind of all he needed to show. All he needed to do was knock him out because OSP got rocked. He had no idea where he was. It makes you wonder how bad John Jones was against OSP when they fought. You know what I mean? Because John Jones should have been able to do the same thing or a similar thing to OSP or worse. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he should have done. But I think it sort of touches on kind of what Fred was saying a little while ago, is the fact that sometimes you do get fighters that are either up for it or not bothered. I don't think they're never not keen to fight, but there's certain fights that will just get them above and beyond. And I think fighting John Jones, anybody's going to try and get him above and beyond. Bisping at the weekend, he said before the fight nobody was going to take that belt away from him in Manchester, and that's what kept him going. It's completely the opposite of the doom in Brazil, where he just let the crowd get to him. And you know, there's swings and roundabouts with it all, but I think that it's you play up to it, and I think OSP played up to it when he fought John Jones, and I think he probably took Manuwa a little bit too lightly.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Kirby.
I agree.
I was just going to say that's an incredible point, man. I think that's absolutely true. I think a lot of that shit I think that's why OSP did so well against John Jones. A lot of people will look at that fight and go, oh. I think a lot of people overflated how good OSP was strictly based upon what he did against John Jones. And I think that was a mixture of both those things. I think Jones probably thought against OSP, and OSP took John Jones as seriously as Godzilla. And if you don't do that in every fight, especially against a guy like Jimmy Manuwa, who can definitely throw some fucking serious heat, you know, maybe OSP could have beat him had he tried to wrestle fuck him and just took him uber serious and gave that man the respect he deserved. But because he thought he'd get out there and maybe test his little funky striking out a little bit, he got his fucking jaw rocked.
And his knee blew out maybe too.
I'll tell you what, though. I kind of agree with you, Fred, but I also think that I think everybody complained and kind of got on OSP over that John Jones fight, saying that he didn't show everything that he was capable of that we've seen him do before. And I think maybe in this fight, no, go back and listen to a lot of people saying that he has a lot of potential. He has a lot of potential. We've seen it. Okay,
but
now listen.
To beat John Jones with.
No, but we were saying that he had more potential to do stuff in that fight than what he did. What did he do in that fight? He just kind of walked around the octagon, waited for John Jones to do stuff, and kind of backed away. Didn't really show much in that fight. And I think a lot of people got on him, and that got in this performance. In this performance, he was like, all right, I'm going to let go. I'm just going to strike with this guy, and I'm going to put him away. I should be able to beat this guy. And he got his head inflated, and he got knocked out. I still think that OSP is a guy that can improve a great deal of amount more, and I think he's actually athletic enough to perform at a higher level. I just think that he's getting in this mode where I think people are, like you guys are saying, are overhyping him, and I think he's believing that hype, and he goes in there and he just doesn't perform up to what we think. So now we think he's overrated, which can be true, but I think that he has the potential to be a good fighter, a potential, contender in that division.
Well, I don't know about a contender in that division no more, but he's a good kid and all. But I think you ride his dick a little too much, quite frankly. OSP's he's a middle of the road fighter, and he'll be in Bellator soon enough. Jesus, sorry to break it to you.
Dave, man, what do you think? What do you think is next for Jimmy now? I mean, he's making his. I mean, he doesn't have a case just yet for being a contender. I think another couple big wins. And, with the way the 205 division is right now, you could possibly see him against the champ sooner, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, just the way it sits right now, we've talked about it. I mean, it's pretty much, at the top, you got John, you got Daniel, you got Gustafsson, who's probably going to come back, early 2017. So with Jimmy Manuwa earning this big win, on that stage in which, like Andrew and Fred had predicted, by knockout in impressive fashion, he's going to get a lot of looks, and everybody's going to be talking about him as a contender at the top. So I do think he could have a fight lined up soon, maybe another bout before the end of the year, early 2017. But I think Jimmy Manuwa is a guy that's only been set back by Anthony Johnson and Gustafsson, two very guys that are right there in the mix at the top. Johnson's fighting for the title at the end of the year, so look for Jimmy Manuwa. They got to get Jimmy Manuwa in a bigger fight. He's got to be more consistent. It was a good win. I'm glad he finished the fight the way he did, and eyes are on him as a possible contender, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's move on real quick. We'll go through the rest of the card.
205 is anemic as fuck right now.
What the fuck, 205?
Yeah, the division.
So,
oh, okay.
How's anybody's shit?
I thought you meant
Yeah,
UFC 205. Like, what the fuck? Sorry.
The newest booking in the light heavyweight was Misha Serkinov and Nikita Krylov fight, so that fight's going to be pretty fucking exciting coming up soon.
Yeah.
So that possibly could present a contender in that matchup as well.
No, and you're right. You're right on that point for sure. All right, Stefan Struve submits Daniel Omalenchuk. How do you say that?
Called that one.
Yeah. Merced Bektik gets that rear naked choke on Russell Doan. Alcantara beat Brad Pickett. Now I was kind of upset at that. I thought Pickett was going to be able to do something against Alcantara. I had him, winning at home, and unfortunately getting choked out was the way he went.
It was that elbow though, wasn't it? Oh.
Right.
Elbows.
Nasty
We need more of elbows in MMA.
And we were talking about that last week with Muay Thai. There should be way more elbows in MMA for sure.
Yep.
The fight of the night was Bisping and Henderson, but I think my personal fight of the night was Danny Roberts and Mike Perry, though.
Dude, and everyone hates Mike Perry so much.
And I still do.
On Twitter? Oh, I know you do. I mean, like he was hitting Danny Roberts hard though. Almost every shot Perry threw was like for going for a knockout. I ended up catching him in the third round, I think it was. But
I think he was still in hospital yesterday or Monday.
Man,
fucking really? God damn.
Yeah, they were arguing that as a bad stoppage as Mark Goddard. They thought a lot of people were saying that was a bad because he got fucking blasted. And then Perry missed a few close shots, and it would have been a whole lot worse if you look at that fight one more time. I mean, he did some damage to him. And then props to Danny Roberts. He's a tough fucking bastard. He came back in the second round like a firestorm. Mike Perry dominated him in the first round, and then the third round kind of went back and forth. So that was, like I said, my personal fight of the night. But man, Danny Roberts is in. He suffered some injuries, unfortunately, and tough motherfucker, man. That's a big test for Mike Perry, and he passed with flying colors for sure.
I tell you what, man. I like Mike Perry. I know you don't like him, which makes me like him even more as far as it goes. But I tell you what, man. I learned two things about Mike Perry in this fight. A, he's fucking super tough. He almost reminded me of a Diaz brother. How he was just eating the leg kicks and still throwing heat and still very dangerous while taking damage. But
no head movement whatsoever.
There you go. I did notice a few very obvious holes in his game, though. So, I mean, I think he'll end up being one of these guys that's super exciting to watch and a fan favorite, whether you love him or hate him. But I think we're going to find out what his ceiling is pretty quickly here. He'll be fun to watch.
I just hope he's going to be the first UFC fighter who's going to be 0-12, and every 12 defeats are going to be battering into a pulp.
Listen, I can see him being that guy, man. That's what I mean. I don't think he'll be fighting for the title, but I think he's going to be a guy that you're going to notice his name and be excited when he's in fights. He's going to be fun to watch fight for sure.
Neo-Nazi prick.
Hey, any fights on here you guys want to talk about before we move on to the next topic here?
Just Merced Bektik, man. Just quickly, I want to say that, like I told you, you know what I'm saying? That dude is a fucking beast. Like, it'll be kind of interesting. He's at what, 45?
Yeah, he is.
Just for curiosity, and let's not spend fucking 32 days on this. But what would y'all do with him, man? A super fucking funky prospect at 45. Where would y'all go with him next? Like, he's obviously super talented. Would you throw him kind of in the deep end and give him a name, or kind of just feed him another tomato can and let him build his reputation?
Yeah, I mean, he said it himself. He's like, I don't want to be a prospect anymore. I want some top 10 guys. I mean, he's the one that said that, right? So, I mean, who would you give it? Who would you give him? I wouldn't give him like a Max Holloway.
Oh, well, hell no. Hell no.
Isn't T-City in that division too, as well?
He's out for a year.
Ooh, he's out for a year. God, Jesus.
Yep.
What happened with him?
I thought that would have been a good matchup right there.
labrum shoulder surgery, I believe. And a guy, I guess I would throw out there a name. If he wants a name, give him Choi. I guess you can give him. I don't know. There's a couple guys you can give him. There's Yair Rodriguez. Who knows? That'd be a fucking gangster ass fight.
You
right
know
there,
what?
you know what I mean?
I like the Yair fight. Both guys need a test.
Give him Aldo.
Both guys need a test.
Give him Aldo. Aldo will throw the fight anyway.
Oh! That's what we call a segue, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the British cocksucker.
Fuck it. Let's go. We'll talk about the Rousey fight in a second here, but let's go into that. Jose Aldo wants out of the UFC, allegedly, right? And so today, he's supposed to meet with UFC brass and all that shit, but he said he wants out of the UFC so bad he'll throw fights. First of all, in the States, that's a felony. You can't do that shit. That's out. You will go to legit prison for that shit, right? I mean, supposedly. But it's a ridiculous thing to say, right, Kirby?
Frank, listen, Ken Shamrock didn't.
It's Ken Shamrock's listen,
pro wrestler.
Let's be straight up about what he wants. He doesn't want out of the UFC.
No.
What he wants is to fight Conor McGregor. Okay, he can talk all the horse shit he wants to about if they give me the Conor fight, I'm still walking. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. They're going to have to make it right. Don't get me wrong. He sounds like he's pissed, and all due respect, he's got a reason to be pissed. Mm-hmm. He is a respectable champion, man. They're going to have to make it right with him. But if they make it right and they give him the fight, quite frankly, I think they could even sweeten the pie enough to give him Max Holloway. Listen, how's the old saying go? Money talks and bullshit walks, right? You little Brazilian prick. Do you want to get paid or do you want to run your mouth? You want to get paid? Well, there we go. They'll give him a blank check if they really want to keep him. He'll fight Max Holloway, and then he'll get Conor next.
There you go.
Or they'll cut his ass. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that I'll tell you what's interesting about this. What's interesting about this for me is I think we're about to find out how the new establishment does business. You feel me? Like, right. This is the first legit beef from a real guy, and the Fertittas ain't around no more, and DW ain't what he used to be. So now you're going to have, goddammit, Ari Gold from Entourage sitting in the room. And I tell you what, I personally was a big fan of Entourage. Now, I don't know how closely them characters are to one another, but I know the dude from Entourage would tell Jose Aldo to go fuck himself.
Yep.
So I don't know if they will just write the check and keep him happy, or if maybe they play hardball and go, you know what, bro? You've been around for 150 years and you still ain't a draw. Fuck you.
Damn. I mean, not a draw.
You know what? I gotta agree with Fred. I think that's probably what they're gonna do. I think Jose Aldo at this point is more of a liability with everything that he's saying and he's trying to do. Mm-hmm. I think they're gonna be like, look, you're talking about throwing fights. We can't book you in a fight until you come back and say you're not gonna do that. You know, because that looks bad on us as a company, you know, and then, you know, it's just so many things, you know, like Fred said, he's not a big pay-per-view draw at all. I mean, it just begs the question, like, Jose Aldo has to be willing to do what Gilbert Melendez did. What did Gil do? He went, signed the contract, and was like, all right, UFC, this is your last chance. Look at this contract. I signed it. I'm ready to go. I got my bags packed. What are you guys going to do? And they're like, whoa. Okay, let's talk about this real quick. Let's rip that up, and you know we'll make it good for you. Jose Aldo has to be willing to walk away, and I don't think he's willing to walk away. I think he's just trying to press them and say, you know, fall to what he wants to do. And I agree with Fred. I think back in the day, I think the Fertittas were kind of a little bit nicer and a lot more lenient in that sense. And I think now I don't think that's going to fly, especially because they have to start establishing their kind of protocol. You know, this is how things are going to go moving forward with contracts and all that stuff. You're not going to play this game with them. That's what I think they would probably do. And I think Jose Aldo is going to be made an example out of.
Yeah, Andy, what do you think about this, man? Jose Aldo's been around for a long time, almost 10 years, you know, without being beaten. Gets knocked out in 13 seconds. However, he's still a guy that the UFC deserves. You know, deserves a lot of respect, right?
Undoubtedly. I mean, he's one of those guys that if he carried on for, you know, if he was still the champion or if he wasn't mouthing off, people would say he's a Hall of Famer in the future. But I think there's two things with what Jesse just said. Is the fact that, is he a draw? Well, in Brazil, if he were to fight McGregor in Brazil, he'll be a fucking draw, trust me. Whether that'll pull in the pay-per-views on TV, I would imagine that most of Brazil, if they could afford it, would tune in or, you know, find some way of doing it. But secondly, I don't think, and I'm prepared to sort of say I'm pretty sure that McGregor won't hit 145 again. And I think Aldo knows that. I want to see what he looks like at 155 for 205. And if he comes in looking as gaunt as he does, as he used to at 145 and now at 155, he'll never make 145 again, because he always used to look gaunt and dreadful. And if he looks like that with the extra 10 pounds on, because the muscle that he had to put on for one, you know, to get him up to, what was it, 168?
Right.
The muscle that he put on there, because there was so little body fat on him anyway. Yeah. Now he's got to try and strip that muscle off, and that's a lot harder. So I don't see him going to 145 again. I think Aldo knows it. He's got, and where can he go?
Very true. Very true.
So where do we go from here? We got ourselves a good old fashioned Mexican standoff.
I don't think so. I think
no pun intended, you Mexican pricks.
I think we all kind of know where this is heading. I'm pretty sure we're all pretty sharp enough to understand that if McGregor wins, he's gonna drop the 145 belt right after and be like, I'm a 2-champion guy. Nobody else is gonna do this after me. Bam, I'm done. Take the championship back.
Well, that's exactly what he did in Cage Warriors as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think he's just going to use that same tactic here once he does that, and, you know, probably announce that he's, you know, starring in the next Expendables movie as the star. I don't know.
All right. Enough with the flirting around the question, boys. Right to the fucking point. Will Jose Aldo's next fight be in the UFC or not?
Yeah. I'll take that. Yeah, on the topic, let me finish. I think that what they're going to do, like Fred said, it's a whole different ballgame. It's going to be a sign on how they're going to play out business with a big star like Aldo. I think they probably take him in there. Ari from Entourage is going to be there. Dana, everybody that needs to be there will be there. They'll sit his ass down. There's a time frame from now until UFC 205. I think there's possibly a huge fight that'll, you know, it depends on Conor. I mean, he's forever tied to Conor because of the knockout. I mean, after he got KO'd in 13 seconds, Jose Aldo woke up to a whole different universe after that. I mean, he came back and, you know, got the big win against Frankie, but I think where he's at now, we all know he wants that big Conor fight. So I think the UFC's got to do the right thing. They're going to keep him. They're going to probably, you know, set up if all possible, rematch with Conor if that's necessary. But it all ties into UFC 205. So I think Jose Aldo definitely sticks around the UFC. It's kind of, he's just been a little too pissy lately. He's talked a lot of shit. And coming from the guy, I mean, it's just been continuous for a couple of years now. He pulls out of fights. I think they finally calm his ass down and sit his ass down and straighten him out, though, my opinion.
All right. So everyone agrees he'll fight in the UFC again. Keep in mind, Jose Aldo he doesn't have the easiest time cutting 45 either, okay? So move to 155, you could do it, but we'll see. All right. We'll talk about the big news today, sort of, because, you know, it was reported by Diz, what's his name, at Talk MMA on Twitter. He put this out there like a week or two ago, or even before that. But announced today on Fox Sports 1 on the Colin Cowherd, the Herd with Colin Cowherd, Dana White saying, official for UFC 207, Ronda Rousey returns to challenge Amanda Nunes for the title. Now, this is where I find hilarious, because that got announced, and everyone's like, oh, shit, you know, it's crazy, Rousey's back. People that aren't even, like, hardcore fans. I have people at work that don't know jack shit about fighting going, oh, her Rousey's coming back. I mean, she's that still big of a star in the draw, right? Now, here's where it gets funny. Kat Zingano started tweeting out about she already beat Nunes. Zingano's cheering or rooting for Rousey to win so she could fight Rousey in a rematch. Juliana Pena is threatening to leave the UFC because she called Rousey a spoiled brat. And she's like threatening to leave the UFC because Rousey got a title shot. First of all, you can let Juliana Pena walk. I don't give a fuck. You know, it made waves in like 5 seconds after it was announced, right? So, Kirby, Rousey returns, gets the title shot immediately. The right move, the only move, or could have gone somewhere else?
Yeah, I mean, it's the only move, right? I mean, I get what Pena is saying, but, like, in reality, you're right. Like, I mean, come on, man. Who's the bigger draw? Ronda Rousey crushes Julia as far as, like, pay-per-view numbers, man, and money talks. You know what I'm saying? We all knew what the deal was, man. Mm-hmm. Whenever Ronda Rousey was ready to come home, she was going to get that fight. wants. She's the female Conor McGregor. Like, let's not kid ourselves, man.
100%.
She makes the company a lot of fucking money, dog. Like, you knew she was gonna get that fight. And listen, I tell you what I find cute is that all these people. It is interesting, the Jose Aldo thing, because I do feel like he's starting something here. All of a sudden, everybody, if I don't get my way, I'm leaving, Jack. I'm going to leave the UFC. Everybody is threatening to leave the UFC anymore. All due respect to Julia Pena, where's she going to go? Like, all due respect, sweetie pie, where the fuck are you going to go? Like, you going to leave and go where? To Bellator? The guys don't have a lot of competition in Bellator, let alone the women. I mean, I feel sorry for her. That kind of sucks, but she ain't going a motherfucking place unless she decides to take up a different profession. So, yeah, man, listen, to answer your question, was it the right move? Fuck yeah. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
Andy, what do you think about that, man? Like Rousey's a huge draw. She had Brazilians cheering for her in Brazil against Bethe Correia. That never happens, right? So she's still a huge, massive draw. So Rousey comes back as a title shot, and in fact, you know what? She's a favorite already, and she hasn't fought. By the time it goes, it's over a year if she hasn't fought.
Well, that's debatable.
Yeah, well, but first and foremost, there's a small matter of the company has got to recuperate $4.2 billion or whatever they spent on it.
There you
so
go.
if you think that any fight in the near future is going to be based on what's fair and what isn't, you can stick it up your ass. And if you're a fighter that thinks that, then fuck off, because it isn't going to happen. It isn't going to happen. $4.2 billion is a lot to invest in a company, and they want a return on that. And the bigger the draw, the bigger the pay-per-views they can make, that's what they're going to count on. They're bean counters now. They're not fight fans. So that's the first instance. Second instance, Ronda's going to get beaten. She's going to go straight back to movies, and she's going to ruin her career.
Damn. So you're not giving Rousey a chance against Nunes?
Nope. The sport's passed her by.
Damn. I mean,
too many people have got too much better since she's been wallowing in self-pity, which is what she's basically been doing.
Yeah, and you know what?
Sorry,
keep
Mike.
In mind, and Mike's gonna be upset about it. In fact, Mike on YouTube, real quick, gotta catch up with some comments here. He's talking about Zingano and Nunes are trading shots on Twitter. That's true. They are going back and forth. If you want to go see that. And he says Pena's a delusional little brat, 100%. Now, but yeah, Mike was super excited about Rousey coming back. Now, Jesse, what do you think about this, man? I mean, Rousey. I mean, it's true. Rousey's been gone for quite a while. Not even quite a while, less than a year. But in that much time, Andy's right. Everyone's gotten way better. I mean, way better. So, what do you think happens with Rousey and Nunes? Who you got winning that fight? In fact,
I think it's ridiculous that everybody thinks that she's the favorite. I mean, how does that happen? But I think also it comes down to people. The sports books and stuff. They start betting on where the money's going to come in. So they put Rousey as the favorite because they know that the money's going to come in on Nunes. So I think that's where that kind of factors in. Other than that, I think this is a pretty open and shut case. I think Nunes has shown that she can, stop a takedown, and she punches really hard. Some of the things that Ronda Rousey can't do is take a punch and take people down without, getting in that close range. So I think it's tailor-made for Ronda to. I really don't see how it was a wise decision for them to put this fight on, except for the fact that they know that they're going to make a lot of money. Just because, Dana White's been out there, putting on the show of, oh, Ronda's the biggest star, she's the biggest draw, she's bigger than Connor. And I think
it's made the BBC news over here. It made the BBC news over here. That's how big it is. Within minutes, it was all over the national broadcaster.
Let me ask you this, Andy. Did BBC News cover the Bisping fight?
Nope. Not a dicky bird.
See, and there you go. That's the thing right there. They know that they're going to make just massive amounts of money. They're going to crush pay-per-view sales. But that's it. They're just going to use her for that and then throw her away after she gets knocked out again.
Totally agree.
Damn. Kirby, you give Rousey a chance in this?
Well, I mean, listen. I think these two pricks are being extremely dismissive. Do I give her a chance? Of fucking course she's got a chance. Michael Bisping just got done knocking out Luke Rockhold after Luke Rockhold made him look like his little brother in that first fight. Threw him a beating and then submitted him with a one-arm fucking guillotine, okay? It was fucking pathetic, that performance. And then Michael Bisping came back and knocked him out.
Even Bisping agrees with you with that his first performance against Rockhold was shit. You're not saying anything new.
Well, there you go. My point is, you mouthy twat, is that if he can do that, surely Ronda Rousey can fucking judo whip shit kick fucking Amanda Nunes to the ground and armbar. Absolutely, it's possible.
Bisping has been doing nothing but getting better since the Rockhold fight.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Ronda Rousey has been putting on weight and starring on film. For fuck's sake! What training has she been doing? She appears every now and again out with the Diaz's. And that's it. She's still got fucking Edmund in her corner.
That's my thing.
That's going to do.
Are you Edmund Tavarian? You don't know what she's doing. She might be doing gymnastics with GSP for all you know.
Bullshit. You think she's going to leave him? Travis Brown's still there. That tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, listen, Travis Brown probably threatens her with beatings.
You know what? I don't think Travis Brown can beat out Ronda Rousey. I'll tell you that much. That fucker better watch his arms.
It's a good point.
You mean allegedly, right, Fred? Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Hey, allegedly my ass.
Anyway, but here's the thing.
Squeeze blood out of a turnip.
Yeah. Now, Dave, Rousey got knocked out by Holly Holm. Nunes has gotten better. I mean, you could almost argue that Nunes might be even a harder hitter than Holly Holm because Holly Holm got, in and out. And then Rousey's dumbass walking straight forward. Now, to me, the biggest point to a Rousey fight is Edmund. He's still in the corner. If he's still in there, I have a hard time believing she beats Nunes. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree, 100%, Eddie. It's kind of going to be hard because, like Jesse said, her style, Amanda Nunes' style, it's going to pose a lot of problems for Rousey coming off a big layoff. Amanda's tough, and I think this fight absolutely makes sense. Like Andrew made a great point. It's one for the money, two for the show. You know what I mean? It's the William Morris era, the William Morris effect. I always say it. So this bout here, it all came together perfectly. I mean, Dana's been propping up Ronda, keeping her relevant, saying, hey, she's going to come back, and it all came to fruition with Amanda Nunes earning that impressive win at UFC 202 or 201. Or sorry, 200. Sorry about that. But that ended up being where Amanda Nunes was willing to take the fight, though. I guarantee if it was Miesha Tate or if it was a different contender, they probably wouldn't have wanted that fight. But do keep in mind, this Rousey fight, it's not the main event. Daniel Cormier and Johnson, I believe, is the main event, I think.
Well, wait, that hasn't been said yet.
That's in
206, right?
That's in Montreal, right?
Yeah, different card.
I thought they booked it on the same card. No, I remember it was supposed to be a
207, isn't it?
So I guess,
Cormier 30th of December, New Year's Eve, yeah.
So of the Montreal card, the Toronto card, Daniel and Anthony are going to be the main event. But now that this fight is booked, though, it pretty much sets up a possible, a Holly Holm rematch in 2017. I think Holly's got to earn probably another win to probably get there. But like Andrew said, it's highly likely that she gets put back, to movies, sort of the Gina Carano, just deja vu happening again. But we'll see what happens. The fight's a little ways out. I can't take Ronda in the bout, though, Eddie. With Edmund in her corner, it's going to be hard for me to pick her. Nunes is fresh. She's ready to go. She's taking on all comers. So I love that. And, it's a necessary booking. William Morris effect. There you go.
There you go. And Mike Draws on YouTube says, real quick, Jesse, I'll let you finish in a second, but he goes, there's a rumor going around that Miesha and Kirby broke up, and Misha's looking for a new power bottom. I just think that's a funny comment to me. Anyway, Jesse?
No,
I'm down.
I was just.
Of course you are. Fucking course you are, Fred.
That bitch has got a lot of money, Jack.
Anytime a chick is available and I get that question, hey, I'm just gonna say I know a guy, just like Cowboy. I know a guy.
The problems Fred's got with all these women is the fact they've got eyesight.
Do you get that question often, Jesus? Did they ask you for a power
looking for
bottom?
a white guy? Yeah. Power bottom white guy. Yeah, I got a number for you.
Yeah.
Gingers are us.
There you go. Real quick.
Weasley look alike.
Now, before we move on here, Dana White also during the interview, now I don't believe this not for a second, but Dana White saying that if Rousey's able to win the title, that the Cyborg fight is a must happen. It's a will do. I don't buy it. I think it's bullshit. Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, great point. That was what I wanted to get to next. Dana didn't say if it would be at a certain weight class or what. He just kind of said that Rousey has been willing to fight Cyborg, that she wants to do it. And it kind of dates back to UFC 200, you know what I mean, where Cyborg had a performance shortly before that. She's got 2, UFC appearances now. So if the stars line up for that fight and Rousey's impressive, hell yeah, get her that fight. Me and Fred, we all talk about getting Cyborg a name in there and get her in there against fucking Ronda Rousey. Then, yeah, imagine the William Morris effect to the fullest.
Can I just please say some shit for 2 seconds?
You never stopped before. Go ahead.
Listen. I know we all want to see the Cyborg fight, but I gotta say, there is something that stinks in my craw about Would anybody be more or less deserving of a big fight than Cyborg?
What does more or less
has
mean?
this woman beaten?
William Morris effect, though. On the William Morris effect side, it's going to happen if it does.
Fair enough. Yeah. But on the hardcore side, everybody's calling for this fight based on the strength of fucking what?
I see your point.
That she beat Gina Carano, that she beat Marlies
Oh, man,
Conan,
suck my
that she's
nuts,
destroyed
that
everybody
Gina Carano
that's raised their hand, that said that they're a 45er.
You can only beat who's put in front of you, can't you, Fred?
What'd you say?
You can only beat who's put in front of you. She's beaten everybody who's been put in front of her.
Well, listen, fair enough, but I think that before she gets the Ronda Rousey fight, she should beat somebody who I've fucking heard of.
Okay, wait. So you're saying that the same thing that happened with Ronda Rousey, where they gifted her a belt without beating anybody, and then her first title defense was against somebody that was probably way underperformed in that fight and wasn't even ready for that fight, and almost won that fight, by the way. Almost won that fight by choking her. That's retarded. You can't say that.
Let me explain something to you, Jesus. To the present day, she has not fought nobody of Liz Carmouche's level. Yet,
are you kidding me?
Are you? Who?
You're saying that Gina Carano was not on Liz Carmouche's level?
Holy shit. If you say Gina Carano again, I'm going to have you shot. Gina Carano.
Don't worry, somebody out here will probably do that for you. But
Gina Carano happened with the dinosaurs. That fight don't count, bro. I don't even remember what organization that happened in. Fucking Pride.
Okay.
Who else?
Then tell me one very, very credible fighter that Ronda Rousey has beaten.
Fuck every girl she's beaten. Every girl she's beaten.
Oh, look at that. Now you can't say a single word.
Kat Zingano. Misha Tate. What the fuck? Yeah.
Jesse
Go
dropped.
ahead and leave. Leave, you Mexican prick. Jesus Christ.
Hey, that's not funny, dude. He might have gotten fucking jacked right now. What the?
Well, he could have at least left it on.
Yeah, no shit. He could have at least left it on if he is getting fucking snuffed.
But
listen,
this whole Ronda Rousey Cyborg thing's irrelevant. She's not going to win against. She's not going to get the title. It just isn't going to happen.
Either way,
it's irrelevant talk.
Cyborg needs to fight Misha Tate or somebody. Who the fuck is Misha Tate fighting? She's fighting who at 205?
Raquel Pennington?
There you go.
Yeah.
Let her fight the fucking loser of that fight, and I'll shut the fuck up.
Oh my God. See, you're talking about a division that has no names, Fred. You're talking about a division that has no names, and that's not a knock on Cyborg, and that's really not a knock on Ronda Rousey either. You can't say one is better than the other just because they were doing cute little arm bars, as you like to say.
Sure I can. Watch me. One's way better than the other, and Ronda Rousey has beat way more names than Cyborg has. Fucking bottom line.
Wait. So you're calling who's the name? Tell me who's the name. Betch Correia, a girl that beat two girls that should never have been in the UFC, went on a 3-fight win streak.
Misha Tate is a name. She beat her twice. Can Cyborg fight somebody in Misha Tate's quality, please? Thank you.
Really? You want me to say the name again?
Look, by the way, real quick, I just found out right now on Twitter. I didn't know that he said it. Apparently, Dave Schuller's leaving the UFC. Do you guys know that?
Oh man, they're dropping like flies.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, right, but I mean, I wonder what the hell's going on in the background with this new company that's making all these guys fucking leave.
Well, we know that
costs.
The Rousey fight, I guess, is like a Joe Silva going out with a bang there. If you book that one up, that's just like peace out, Joe Silva right there, right?
Fuck that. If it's a Joe Silva peace out, fuck it. It's like it's gonna be like Conor McGregor versus like fucking the biggest Brock Lesnar. You make that fight, you want to say fuck it, okay? I think it's just
Cain Velasquez.
Nah, Kane. He don't want to see Kane. I think McGregor would rather see Brock before he sees Kane. All right, let's say that much. Anyway,
Kane in Mexico on a week's notice.
Motherfucker, you start trying to kill my guy. All right, what the hell? What's your problem? You trying to murder the dude? What the fuck? All right, and then real quick, whoever's handling Chris Cyborg's Twitter, we fucking know your game. She does not type or talk or speak. I mean, English, nowhere near that well. Okay, yeah. Cut the shit and stop using Tupac lyrics. You fucks. It's not working for you. Okay, cut it. Anyway, that bothers me the fuck out of me. I don't know. Anyway, moving on.
For the record, Cyborg be liking my pictures on Instagram. So either she or her Instagram promoter wants to give me some pussy. So I'm just putting that out there.
Hey, Fred. Just to let you know, that's a guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, I've told you before that doesn't bother me. Then he wants to give me some pussy. I'm still flattered.
Kirby, Amanda will take on all takers. Anyway, all right.
Dayton,
moving on to this.
That's Dayton, Ohio for you, wouldn't it?
Oh, there you go. Hey. But all right, let's talk some Nevada State Athletic Commission bullshit. All right. Yesterday they had their meeting with Conor McGregor's representative or lawyer attorney, who by the way showed up in the shortest skirt she could find. I'm not hating. And then Conor McGregor on the phone, of course, right? So what ended up happening? They went back and forth. They actually played the reason he was in trouble was for the Diaz McGregor water bottle throwing bullshit they pulled before the UFC 202, right? So for some reason they felt the need to not only watch that whole bottle throwing thing over and over again, but watch it from different fucking angles, like 4 or 5 times. It got ridiculously stupid. What did they come up with? They threw shit on the wall, waited to see what would stay on their stick, and they gave him a $150,000 fine and 50 hours community service, which of course also includes a fucking anti-bullying PSA and an apology of some sort. Okay, the whole thing's fucking ridiculous. Pat Lomball was spearheading that shit. Of fucking course she was. Like we were joking on Twitter, like she's about to try and ban Conor for life. So Andy, like with this kind of thing, the punishment's stupid. It's not going to do anything. And plus, they clearly don't know what the hell's going on, right?
I don't know what they're up to be honest. I mean, it's a joke. She's almost running this panel like she's some kind of Torquemada running the Spanish Inquisition. It's just like, I'm going to create as much pain as I possibly can with no foundation, no evidence, no backup.
No reason.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would be surprised if they don't contest it, because and at the end of the day, what happens if he doesn't pay it? He's already said he doesn't want to fight in Nevada ever again. So what can they do? They're not illegal. There's no legal foundation to what they've done. They can only suspend his license. Well, at the end of the day, if he says I don't want to fight there again, he doesn't want to fight there again. Don't pay the $150,000 and tell him to fuck off.
But won't that affect his ability to fight other places, though, if he actually tries to do that?
Oh, only because other commissions kind of respect and they kind of stay and respect the Nevada State Athletic Commission. But if the Conor McGregor money train's coming, you're a town. Are you gonna say no? Like you at least think about telling Nevada to go fuck themselves.
I mean, I'll
tell you what commission. Tell you what commission probably won't honor that one. New Jersey.
True.
Yeah.
True. I mean,
they don't care.
Somebody needs to stand up to the NSA.
Listen. Let me tell y'all something. Right?
Shut up.
Let me.
You talk too much. Keep your beard shut. Go on.
Let me tell y'all something right now.
No, I won't.
If Conor chooses to not fight in Vegas ever again over 150 stacks, he's an idiot.
Well, not if he can make that money, the same money somewhere else, which invariably he can. How do you know?
He won't.
How do you know?
Because Vegas is Vegas, man. It's the fight hub.
Pay-per-views, isn't it? It's pay-per-views, isn't it? It doesn't matter how many you get in the stadium at the time. It's how many you're going to get pay-per-views. That's what they're interested in. He could fight in bloody Mogadishu and he'd still get the same pay-per-views.
He still needs the company to play ball, though.
And they will, because they're money-orientated.
Well, yeah, but if he fucking says fuck you to Vegas and fucking that whole athletic commission starts causing a stink, yeah,
it doesn't matter them anymore, does it? What link have they got to the casinos and Vegas Strip anymore now that the Fertitas are gone? They're an entertainment company.
Yeah, it's getting real fucking. The fuckery is just like, because I mean, the way it's going to play out. I mean, I think it was really interesting the way how he broke the news about the Rousey fight, because after he announced the Rousey fight, he went straight to this topic that we're talking about now, in which he said that Conor told him that, hey, I wouldn't like to fight in Vegas or something to that extent. You know what I mean? So he did bring it up. So I thought that was interesting because it's like, hey, it's fucking Dana White talking about, you know, his biggest star not wanting or having, you know, beef with the NAC or NSAC or whatever they call themselves. So it's getting strange, but it's sort of like, it's just the William Morrisification. I mean, they really kind of like, I guess I heard somebody argue about them, you know, giving him that stiff penalty that they did. It's kind of like, you know, no more fuckery. We don't want to see any of this bullshit going on. Here's a big fine, sort of an example, like you guys are saying. I mean, as crazy as it was and as random as that fucking Starbucks laptop tossing fest, whatever that was about. I mean, I guess everybody learned a lesson with that. But hey, it's Conor, the money train McGregor. So they got enough money out of the guy, obviously, and then he's gonna fucking pay up. I think he will.
You know, to me about this whole thing is why everybody's so surprised. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's so much money." Of course it is. They know Conor's got a shitload of money, and they kind of got him by the short and curlies.
Then that's embezzlement. That's embezzlement.
Yeah, whatever, Jack. Welcome to America.
Fuck that. No thanks.
It's called, goddamn it, legalities. He
like I say,
up and now they've got him by the curlies.
But that's what I mean. There's no legal bounds to that state athletic commission.
He's right.
There's no legal boundary. There's nothing in law that says if you don't pay this, you're going to prison or anything like that. It's a fact that you know, if you don't pay it, the only thing we've got is to suspend your license and not fight in Nevada. He's already, you know, basically usurped that one by saying, I don't want to fight there anyway.
Yeah, but he also said he was going to retire on a fucking moment's notice one time. I'm telling you, I think him fighting in Vegas is a lot more crucial than we all think. I don't think Conor's just going to decide to not fight in Vegas no more. I bet you they make him fight in Vegas. I'll bet you.
Oh, he'll choose.
It's worth way more money than 150 grand.
You think they make more? You think they'd make more money if his next fight or a fight in the future in Vegas than they would if they had it in Dublin?
Okay, listen, that is the rare fucking circumstance where it would obviously make more. Clearly, in fucking Dublin, it's going to do big. Hey, just like you tried to make your cute little circumstance with Jose in Brazil. Put Jose's ass in Nebraska and see how much he sells. Okay, Conor's a cute kid, but put him in fucking.
Yeah, and we've already said that Conor gets what he wants if he turns around and says, "Nope, every fight you wanted me to fight in Nevada, I'll fight in Dublin." And the UFC go, "Yeah, okay, then." They've lost nothing, have they?
I tell you what, he didn't get on UFC 200, did he? He's cute, but I think
they want to put him in check. They put him in check.
They did. I mean, he's not bigger than the company, man. He in 150 grand is not that much money. It is, but to somebody like Conor that is generating millions, I think somebody will sit down and be like, yeah, listen, they're throwing the book at you, but Vegas is a fucking international fight hub. There are going to be times in the future where we need you in Vegas. Pay the fucking fine and, you know, throw some more water bottles because he probably made 100 times that because of it. So it just, you know, it's a ridiculous fine.
It's the principle of the damn thing. Somebody needs to they need to get a spiky stick and shove it up that woman's ass until she dies.
It means that McGregor's
I agree.
He's not going to buy a new Bentley or a Ferrari and a new watch for Christmas. That's all it means. But he'll make it up at 205, right?
No, he will. He'll still buy it.
Shit, it probably don't mean that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 150K ain't shit, man.
That guy don't give
a that dude, he ain't missing that.
Fuck. He don't give a fuck. He'll still do it. All right. So regardless, that whole NSA thing. No, by the way, and Andrew's 100% right. Look, and the funny thing is during the meeting, because I was in Indiana, I fucking watched the whole goddamn thing. They said, well, no, this court, and I first immediately said, this is not a court, fuckers. This is not anything. This is not the court. Why are you saying court? Okay. I mean, if you guys remember, Nick Diaz's attorney was like objecting and fucking using actual things you could do in an actual legal court, and they were confused shitless. They're like, overruled, I think. Overruled. They had no fucking clue what the hell's going on. They have no idea. He's right. McGregor doesn't have to do jack shit. They just can't. They can just stop him from getting a license. So that's literally all they can do.
Okay. Once again, you pricks, I'm putting you to the metal. Do you fucking cute little pricks think that he actually sticks to his guns and never fights in Vegas again?
Fuck no. This will be forgotten immediately. All right, he'll be back in Vegas, second quarter next year. Okay.
I agree.
Or they might, or he might be. They might force him to pick up trash and pull weeds on the side of the highway too. Because that just.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that. To be honest with you, I really would. Anyway.
Suit made $1 million bills.
Yeah. While wearing a Versace robe, while he's fucking cutting the weeds on the highway.
And two middle fingers up. Somehow he's gonna pull that off. All right. Moving on here to the next topic here. Mayweather blessed Dana on fighter pay. Dana, what do you say about that?
Why there was he blasting Dana?
Mayweather.
Yeah, there was an article on a Flow Combat, a real interesting one. I don't know if you guys all caught it, but yeah, Mayweather was chirping about just talking about just how fighters are paid. I mean, he's talking, you know, because he's somewhat sort of tied to McGregor. There was that riff-raff about that fight playing up, but I guess Mayweather may be trying to, you know, play a role in MMA. I mean, he's the boxing guy, but hey, he's always about money. So whenever money talks, money is talking about money. So that's why it's like, hey, I'm one to really advocate about fighters getting paid. So fuck yeah, I mean, pay these fighters more, pay them double, pay them triple. They got to fucking pay these guys what they're worth, man. Especially the top end guys. I mean, you hear about these fighter or the outforming or the outfit payouts. That ain't jack shit. I mean, you got to know the real numbers because fighters don't get paid jack shit these days, guys.
No, 100%. And the thing is, look, you're not gonna get
record. I agree. But can Floyd Mayweather shut the F up forever?
I'm with that. I'm with you, Kirby.
Was it senior or junior that said it?
Junior.
Who was it? Junior.
It was Junior.
Money himself. Yeah, money about money.
Because basically, if he's that interested in fighter pay, wasn't he invest into WME like all those stars and celebrities did the other week? Yeah. And turn it around.
That's what
he's got enough money to do it.
That's true. That's a good point.
He should shut the. Yeah, I actually agree with old man bun over there. He should shut the fuck up. He really should. He's doing my tits in every day of the week. He's trying to keep himself relevant. Just take your money, go and fucking wank off into it every day, and shut your mouth.
Or fight Triple G. You know what, Floyd?
He's never going to fight Triple G. God alive.
Relevant in your own goddamn sport. I'm so sick of how that dude gallivanting around. He's the greatest.
First time in 6 years.
That dude compare himself to people who actually fought other fucking extremely tough competition. That dude needs to go fight somebody credible and shut the fuck up, man. Goddamn Mayweather.
Or just stay retired like he's fucking said he was going to be. So, I mean, fuck it. All right. Real quick, a couple more things here before we finish up. Cruz wants 155 pounds. Dominic Cruz would fight Conor McGregor 155 pounds. I don't know why he would do that, right? I mean, why would you do that?
Of course I know why he would do it. I mean, I don't.
Right, no. But I mean, the UFC.
He wants to get paid.
Right, but
listen, the UFC's not going to do it. That's the thing. You know, hey, me too, Dominic. Can I get on? I'd love to fight Conor for $100 million. I get it, but listen, there's a list of and the reality is Dominic Cruz is he's a writer, but that's not.
Are his batteries running down?
I think he's having a seizure.
I fucking hope so.
Fred.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
No. The connection's kind of fucked, dude.
And here, or is he cut out?
I don't know. He's kind of frozen. I'm sure he'll come back. Anyway. All right. So that's kind of weird. I mean, I don't see it happening at all. Andy, would you even be interested in seeing that fight?
Yeah, of course I would.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think I think that'd be an interesting fight. I mean, I'm not a McGregor fan, as you well know, but I'd be interested to see, just to see how kind of where. I mean, it would to me it would show where McGregor's skill set's at. I mean, he's not really shown everything, and because he's not fought somebody that's got a complete set of skill sets. You know, they've always got one thing or another. They're either a wrestler or they're a striker or they're this or they're that. They're not, you know, Cruz has got the lot. And it'd be interesting to see how we did it. What?
Can you still not hear me?
Oh, there we go. Now you're back.
Sadly, we can, yeah.
Are you fucking high? Dominic Cruz at 55?
I think he walks around at 55, doesn't he? He's a big
boy. Does he then?
He's a big boy.
After a few double cheeseburgers and the like, huh? Listen, didn't we all just see what happened to fucking Conor at 70?
True.
Weight division.
Yeah, but look at this. Look at the weight he went up. I mean, Cruz, if he's walking around at 155, that's nothing.
Okay, well, you know what? Listen, fine. Let it happen.
He's not got to go up 30 pounds, is he?
Well, he's going to be going up fucking. Listen.
Nothing. If he walks around at 155, he's going up nothing.
But then Conor's cutting 255. Conor's going to be a whole lot bigger, and he's going to hit a whole lot harder than
I agree with you.
Quote unquote midgets that Dominic Cruz is used to fighting. I don't think I think that's as much of a jump up as Conor to 70 as it would be for Dominic to 55. I think listen, Dominic's cute and he's trying to put his name in the hat there, but like, nah, bruh. I think Conor's a bit too big for Dominic, for real.
Yeah, I don't think that fight's ever going to happen anyway. So, you know, it's interesting to talk about.
And there's that.
Yeah, interesting to talk about, but not really anything.
It depends if Conor wants it.
Right.
Always.
And Conor's not going to want that.
And why would he? Well, why would he? That's a littler midget than the midget he stroked out at 45. Like, I tell you what would be funny is if for somebody to ask Conor about Dominic Cruz, so you can get the who the fuck is that guy?
God, that is still to me.
Why would I fight him?
To me, that's like a top 5 moment of all time at UFC press conferences. Now, who the fuck is that guy? And Jeremy Stevens' face when he realized he fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, it was just embarrassment for him immediately. I was like, oh, dude, like, you can't talk shit to McGregor at the conference. Get the fuck out. Anyway.
Well, Cruz has got to get in line behind what? Who's right ahead of him?
Everybody?
Jeremy Stevens. So, I mean, even Jeremy Stevens would probably give Dominic Cruz a crazy fucking fight if that was like a random fight that occurred. You know what I mean?
Oh, so, I got Dominic Cruz beating Jeremy Stevens pretty easily.
Yeah, just if it happened, I mean, like you guys are saying, I mean, it's just a weird style. I mean, who knows? Like, what would Dominic just fucking, you know, use his footwork, you know, around, and Conor would stalk him around. But, you know, Dominic can be, you know, unhittable sometimes. He has a crazy style and footwork like nobody else in the business. But, yeah, I don't think the fight does take place. But props for Dom for saying, hey, fuck it, sign me up. I'm willing to do a super fight, in which I think there was talks of like a super fight with Mighty Mouse, I think, a rematch. So, hey, I like to see Dom in a big super fight or whatever it is. If he's gonna fight Cody Garbrandt, sign that shit up already. We need to have that fucking fight booked. So,
yeah, right.
Much more down for the Mighty Mouse fight. Like that.
Yeah.
That I'm down with that. That's a fun fight. But I think fucking Cruz jumping to 55 is just a bit much.
Yeah, I don't see it. All right. Real quick before we finish the show, on note, apparently Dave Schuller's taking a position with the Philadelphia 76ers. He's going home, Philly, our hometown team anyway, Philly boy. So good luck to Dave. Not sure who else is going to fall out of the UFC now with this whole sale, but
Bruce Buffer's next. I'm calling it now.
So?
Buffer's out.
No, we're not the Buff man.
Buffer
that might do it for me, boys.
Way.
That might do it
Joe
for me,
Rogan
boys. I might go with the Buff man.
Rogan's going to be out next
year. He goes, I go.
Yeah, so we already know Joe Rogan. He's pretty much out. They're going to be phased out at the end of the year. You got Dan Hardy. You got a couple guys that'll probably step in. Cruz, Cormier. They've been calling fights lately, so it's a whole different deal now. So it's always, like I said, it's the William Morris effect. So it's happening.
I'm telling you, by this time next year, the UFC is going to be almost unrecognizable as far as who's around, because that's going to be just weird as fuck.
MMA oddball note of the night. You guys all probably heard about it. Greg Hardy trying to pursue a career in MMA. So to throw an oddball out there, what do you guys think of that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have to go here soon, but I was actually kind of curious how you guys feel about this too. Shall I start?
It's worse than CM Punk, my opinion. Well, not worse. It's about the same level.
Who is it?
Greg Hardy's a defensive end from the NFL. Big giant dude. He's like 6 something. He'd probably have to be a heavyweight. In MMA, but he honestly he's a really good defensive end or a pretty good defensive end. The problem is he's more known for beating the shit out of his girlfriend and then throwing her on top of a bunch of long rifles. Another one of those. Yeah, he's a really awful fucking human being. He really is.
And another thing too is worth noting is, I mean, the guy's going to pursue a career in MMA. I mean, yeah, heavyweight, like you said, Eddie, could be a division, but the guy's fucking payday from the Dallas Cowboys franchise is equal to if he fought 1,000 times in the octagon.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's not going to be worth it.
I mean, sign him up for I'm proposing the Sean Merriman fight in Bellator. So sign that shit up and let's fucking see it in Bellator.
Now here's the thing.
You're going to see in Bellator next as well, don't you?
Who?
Tyson Fury.
Oh, dude! Did you guys hear he had to vacate both belts? Did he have to? Or did he choose to?
He chose to before they stripped him of them. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's like quitting the day. Dude,
right?
That's quitting before you get the day before you get fired. That's a bitch.
Right.
Exactly that.
That's
so
awesome.
with a bit of luck, he might put his money where his mouth is when he said he'd knock out Cain Velasquez last year.
Yeah, right.
And it's the sort of thing Scott Coker would do.
Well, shit. Now you got Klitschko going in there against who?
Sorry, he'll get Anthony Joshua. He'll get Anthony Joshua.
I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that fight for sure. That's interesting. All right, we'll talk boxing some other time because then we're gonna go off topic here. All right, so
you want to do the fights booking or the fight booking? You want to do that, Eddie?
If you want to do it real quick, yeah, because I mean, Yeah.
Before Fred takes off.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Just to let everybody know, this is just a rundown of the current fights, the newest fights that have been booked. Ricardo Lamas, we all know he fell out, or the UFC Manila card was canceled. He's got a new opponent. He's fighting Charles Oliveira. That fight, I think, was booked today. We got there's talks of Chael Sonnen and Vanderlei Silva in early 2017. Yeah, for early 2017. As we know, we got Francis Ngannou, and we got Anthony Hamilton.
Oh my God, he's gonna die.
So we do have an opponent for Francis Ngannou going forward, and a real interesting bout that just got booked. Jake Allenberger, Jorge Masvidal for the tough finale.
Whoa, that's a weird pairing, isn't it? I mean, it's a good fight, but it's a weird pairing, no?
Yeah, I think it's an excellent fight. I think that's great. I'm probably going to be in attendance for that event there, I'm pretty sure. And we also have Dan Hooker against Jason Knight. I remember Eddie brought him up on the show before. Jason Knight was pretty much remembered for talking a lot of shit in his first bout and winning, you know what I mean, and doing his job in there. But got a tough fight with Dan Hooker booked. We mentioned the Robert Whittaker Brunson fight, Nikita Krylov, Misha Serkinov, and one of the last bouts worth noting, Aljamain Sterling, Rafael Asunciao lined up for UFC Albany as well.
Ooh. Oh, that's a good fight. I like that fight. Asunciao, Aljamain. So yeah. All right, well, it's gonna do it for us tonight. Real quick on the rundown. There is no UFC event until November 5th, which is Fight Night in Mexico City.
Night. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the night we set fire to everything.
There you go. Fucking in Mexico, it's RDA versus Ferguson. Then obviously UFC 205 November 12th. So we got nice long break from the UFC for a while, which obviously Bellator and everybody else should be taking advantage of. So
and there's plenty of kickboxing and Muay Thai on. So.
Yeah, seriously, especially the people that bitch when fights go to the ground. Watch some good shit like that. Muay Thai, all that, kickboxing. You want to see knockouts? Go watch that. What the fuck?
Actually, for all the McGregor lovers, if you go onto YouTube and look for the interview that they did with Senchai about how he would fight Conor McGregor, and listen to what Senchai thinks of Conor McGregor's striking, and Senchai is one of the greatest living Muay Thai fighters. And see what he says about Conor McGregor's striking. That will shut all you McGregor lovers up.
Fred, that's for you. All right. That's going to end our shit. What? All right. No, that's going to do it for us, all right, man?
Yeah, that does it for us. That does it for us, yeah.
Yeah, that does it for us. I'm tired. Everyone's tired. So you can follow Kirby at Kirby_MMA. Dave is at Dave's MMA Brief. Andy's at Revelation 197, 397. What is it?
Who cares? Don't follow.
There you go.
Just make it 937 so you can represent the DYT, man. Revelation 937.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
That way I'll remember it.
And you can follow me at Elal31. The pages at CrossbonesMMA, the MMA Advocates. Of course, see it on here on the tag here. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thanks to Mike Drives, everybody else, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Thanks a lot.